This is James Pond 3 for the Amiga CD32. Yes, the third game of James Pond. Technically, I suppose you could say the fourth, because there's the I can't remember the name of it now, the Olympics kind of James Pond weird thing, joystick waggling game. My memory, I will recall it later, but yeah, it's that was more of a spin-off. Was there anything else? There may have been some other game that was a spin-off. I don't think so. Was there any James Pond pinball or something? No. Anyway, technically the third game, and a damn fine game it is too. I still prefer James Pond 2, codename Robocod. I think most people do, but this is a good game in itself. The cover is very quirky. I think it's fair to say that James Pond has changed, I think, since his first rendition. Didn't he just have one flipper that he used to almost waddle and walk on? Now he has, or fin, I should say. Anyway, cover, yeah, it does the job, and it does the job very well. I'm not going to complain at that. It's even in a nice little frame of Operation Starfish, so that's its full title, James Pond 3 Operation Starfish, and you've got the 5 there as if it's MI5. It's obviously going down the James Bond route still. The back, wow, you sometimes get games like this that show so many screenshots, but that's the way to do it, I think. Let the game speak for itself. So let me just try and pan across here. You can clearly see it's a platformer that isn't upside down. There are bits where you're also upside down, and it was a lot faster, let's say. I prefer Robocod, James Pond 2, as I just said. I actually quite like the quirkiness of the first game as well. In fact, all three games are quite different to each other. One thing you can say, and yes, of course I'm going to bring up the Sonic, is that with Sonic, the 3+ games, but let's say the original 3, Sonic 1, 2 and 3, they're all fairly similar in dynamic, whereas this James Pond, the first was more maybe a sort of Parasol Stars almost kind of game. It was enclosed in several screens, and they weren't huge levels. The second game was huge levels and a real platformer, and more of the sort of jump on the baddies, bounce on the baddies, and you could do all sorts of stuff, but it was a real platformer on its own. The third one, I think some would say even the weakest of titles, maybe, because I think many people had maybe picked other platform games by then, so it's almost prejudged. But it certainly was faster. It was certainly running around, and it was trying to be maybe as fast as Sonic. And we can see here Dominic Diamond himself from Games Master on UK TV, but here he is on BBC Radio 1 FM. Very challenging, will last you for ages, and it's streets ahead of Sonic. I think he's slightly off there. I know Commodore fans slating Commodore games, but let's be honest, is it really, which Sonic is he talking about? And it doesn't really matter. Is it really a Sonic beta? I don't think, unfortunately, even my favourite is Super Frog from Team 17. Even that, I honestly will say, cannot technically challenge Sonic. Even though I prefer Super Frog over Sonic. No, I don't know, it's just the way I feel. But yeah, it's strange that people say that. Perhaps they're just trying to get it to sell. And talking of Dominic Diamond, Games Master, of course here we have Games Master as well, so I presume that's the magazine. So much gameplay that the Games Master player meter has almost burnt out. It's the best Pond game so far. What have we got here? Mega. Trying to get this sequence too close, too far away, about there I think. A massively intriguing and entertaining game, and most certainly one of the best platformers we've ever seen, Mega, and yet they gave it 90. I would have thought the best platform they'd ever seen would be like 97% rated. Anyway, Sega Zone up here. So is this for the Amiga or for the Mega Drive version, etc. / Genesis? Huge, slick, fast platformer with stacks of puzzles, oodles of charm, and enough gameplay to keep all the button-bashing gods quiet. I assume they're calling every games player button bashing gods, because I wouldn't say it's a button basher or masher. It's not exactly like a beat 'em up where you're hammering the buttons, but still. So you can see down here it's almost like a relative of Alfred Chicken there. So, and I shouldn't mention that, but even Alfred Chicken is quite a good platform game. So even on the Amiga, this had stiff competition for platforming king. The biggest and best platform game ever. Now, I've actually just done a quick look at Doom 2 for PC, and they were literally saying on the box, this is ID Software marketing, we'll stop talking now and you can take the game to the counter. And I was saying that's quite conceited, but of course it works. It was a fantastic game, as we know, but the biggest and best platform game ever is quite a statement. And I think time has told that probably James Pond 2 has taken that crown. Anyway, I'm slating things. Let's just have a quick look up here, because I do like this game anyway. It's great. Over 100 enormous levels. So there's a bold statement right there. Over 100 enormous levels. Over 60 baddie types. Dozens of pickups, secret levels and bonuses. Switch control to Phineas Frog. Around the world in 80 days. Kind of. Ultra fast supersonic action, which is a hint on Sonic again. Defeat the evil Dr. Maybe. Well, that's a given, hopefully. But okay, so it goes from advertising the game technically to what you do, which you might as well say anything there. But anyway, supersonic action. Let's have a quick look at the sides. It's fairly standard. This is a CD32 box. As you can see, these annoy me. And also, I don't know if I can show you here, but it's actually got a review that says that I think 94%. And they've stuck this over the top of it. I'm not going to even try to remove this. That wasn't me. I always leave these things. You'll see. What is it I have? I think it's Humans 1 and 2 on the CD32, and it's got this really annoying sticker on it that says, and I think it says $4.99. Like they couldn't even give it away, and I do not want to rip that sticker and rip the box, so it's staying on there. But this, yeah, that is a little bit annoying because it's got an accolade stuck there and this stuck on. But anyway, at least you can see the original price in UK pounds, £35. Ouch, that was a lot. And also back then with inflation, that is probably by these days 40 something pounds. That's a lot of money. That's like games go for these days. So yeah, that's pretty much the average person's game of the month, and that's it. So let's open this, and it does say includes free fish or FI5H secret agent pack worth £9.95. Now I'm starting to get the idea that I need to do not just a lot more research on things, but I also need to formulate these before I start filming. So I'm going to start maybe editing up these videos and also show some of the magazine posters and adverts and bits and pieces. But I have in several magazines this literally at the back, and it is true, it was, they were asking £9.95 for it to send off for your James Pond 3 action pack, which we'll see in a minute because it is included in this for free. Point number one, if I were a kid and I sent off a tenner, basically £10 in, what was it, 1994, 1993, 1994, and then found that when the game came out, because I think they were offering it just before the game came out, that it was free. Not all the time, maybe it was a later release, and as you can see by this, it was later because it went from 35 down to 10. So, but still, that would be a bit, again, sour fish, let's say, because yeah, it is essentially just a whole bunch of cardboard. There's nothing plastic there. I'll leave that there like this so we can see this. So let's just skip to that quickly. There's the manual as well. This you could send off for a tenner. And it's literally printed cardboard with some printed cardboard and printed paper and a printed cardboard ruler, a couple of sticker packs, and some single pieces of paper telling you what to do in later levels. And that's it. That is it. That's £10 worth. I'm sorry, that was a rip-off. Now I will check. Maybe that's a bit harsh, maybe not a rip-off, but I will check. For me, I would be really upset say to send my, I would say hard-earned, but let's say as a kid, to send my tenner off and to find that it's literally just a collection of printed paper and cardboard. But we'll look at that in a second. The CD in there as well, and just see fairly standard Amiga CD32. I keep knocking things, but yeah, it's more to do with my feelings from back in the day and feelings of this. So, hey, read me first as the tip line, nothing else on the back, so I want you to spend even more money. And phone. So, James Pond 3 manual there. If I tilt this way, it's got sort of a nice backing. I was saying before, Ocean games seem to, or some of them on the CD32 seem to have this wonderful background and such. It goes into a fair amount. It has a little joke about calling James Pond. Stop, urgent message. Stop, Dr. Maybe is once again threatening the world. Stop, report immediately to FI5H HQ for Operation Starfish mission. Briefing, stop, message ends. So yeah, it's got a little bit of the whole secret agent kind of joke in there as well. Tells you how to play the game, tells you pickups and a few of the personnel files. So this was obviously included without the pack in the first place, and then it goes on to other languages. I do like at the back it has this inside, basically has the registration card there again with the wonderful artwork in the background, and then on there as well, nice, I don't know, just like little details like that. Strangely the back doesn't have anything, so that would have been pretty much all you got with it. So I'm going to actually quickly judge this as if I'd sent off for it with £10, which okay, I was a late teenager, young man by 1993. So, but I'm thinking, imagine like I don't know, a 13-year-old kid or something. Yeah, let's tip this out carefully. So for a start, that's the holder, the pack. It's going to be jokes all the way down. When crossing roads during secret missions, agents must always be alert. Cars may be driven by enemy operatives. Is that hinting at child safety? So Fish Agent Codebook. Again, sorry, I'm going to keep slating this. It's just cardboard, but still. As you can see a little bit right. I'm not going to read everything there, but you've got the code. I think that's what the ruler was for. So you can make codes, and the code will probably be for what the ruler was for. Fish identity card again. Sorry, it's just a piece of cardboard, printed cardboard. But yeah, okay, it's pretty cool. But that's more for younger children, so perhaps they're aiming this at younger kids. Carpe diem. Funny. So recognition manual, which pretty much should have been in the manual anyway. I love that it doesn't even finish that. Others, and we've got all the other agents. Frogman, Captain Claws, Lightning, Medusa, Sly Stone Face. I think surely it is a Stallone joke there. So the list goes on. So it's almost like, well, could you have made it 4 pages so you could show everyone? But okay. I'm really slating this. I don't mean to, but yeah, paper again. The cool bit, okay, the ruler. But it is just card, essentially printed card. So let's change my stance here. Let's say I was the father of the kid and it was my tenner that I gave my son. I wouldn't be happy so much with this. Okay, a couple of stickers, maybe that wins it over. Jaws knows what you're doing. If you saw that sticker somewhere, you may not even know it was James Pond. You'd think it was a kind of cartoon version of the actual Jaws movie. Top secret, of course we should get in a minute, stay out in my room and things like that, the typical license to kill. Oh dear. Spying going on, like that one. Agent at work, and there we go. No entry without password. What's the password? If I was the father, fish, salmon, fish steak, fish cakes, gills. I'd probably guess it eventually that way. Mission accomplished. There you go. So we're supposed to stick these into the other cards there once we've completed the mission. So the idea is good, but yeah, maybe for younger players. Property of Fish FI5H. This belongs to. I'm just thinking if you were something like a teacher and you suddenly had this stuck across your the homework the kid gives you for history on the front of the history book. That's right, books. We used to use books before tablets came along. What would I make of that? FI5H. I wouldn't even know the game probably unless I was a hip teacher. More cardboard. It's a cut-out James Pond mask. And then we just have the briefings. Now I did check. Apparently it starts at briefing number 4. So there we go. And then on the back a little bit more of the dossier. 5 and 6. It's all more paper. There you go. And 7. But I honestly do not think that justifies £10. I'm sorry. So yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I really don't. And I wonder how many people sent away for it as the game came out, or even before the game fully came out, and then maybe didn't get around to getting the game because it was £35, and by the time it dropped down to, as we can see, this is down to the store, but by the time it dropped down to £10, oh look, it comes with the pack anyway. Gutted. Anyway, so for the game, this is me looking at all this, so this isn't actually talking about the game itself and saying my thoughts on the game, which I will love the game. The cover, as well as I said, it works. I remember this being almost like Penfold and Danger Mouse almost, in the because the CD32 has a full motion video cartoony, no, not full motion video, what am I saying, animated run out of what it's called, CD graphics animated thingy. I think it runs all the way through the game as well, but it certainly was a good 5 minutes or whatever at the beginning. I remember him saying, "Oh crumbs," very Penfold like. So it sums up the game, and it does it very well. It's very cartoony, and it's a great cover. I just do not understand why they didn't just have this as a pack-in anyway, because considering it as £35 recommended retail price, I would expect that to be there. That's my gripe with it. But anyway, I will be playing this over the next couple of days, and maybe even for a week or more. I'll try and get good at this, as I always say with games. We shall see. But there we go, James Pond 3 Operation Starfish, with 3 bundled in cardboard and I'm sorry, I keep saying it, cardboard and paper. That was, and I will find the adverts in the magazines and show you to prove it, that really did sell to people that unfortunately were suckered into paying £10 for them. But anyway, that price tag though. James Pond 3 Operation Starfish for the Amiga CD32.